Do you find yourself falling victim to the fried liver attack as black? This aggressive opening can catch you off guard and leave you struggling to defend. But don't worry. In this video, we'll provide you with tips and strategies to successfully defend against this attack and turn the tables on your opponent. Get ready to strengthen your defenses and improve your game. But wait, there's more. I've got an intriguing chess puzzle waiting for all of you. Be sure to stick around until the end to enjoy the complete experience. The fried liver attack begins with the move e4, e5, knight, f3, knight, c6, bishop c4, which is the Italian game. Now, let's play knight f6 and white responds with knight to g5, which is the fried liver attack. In one of our previous videos, we discussed the line where black captures on d5, and knight takes d5 is a mistake because white can play knight takes f7, leading to unfavorable positions for black. To counter the fried liver attack, today we'll be discussing the move bishop c5, which is the Traxler Counter Attack. At first glance, it may seem like a blunder because white can simply play knight takes f7, attacking both our queen and rook. However, this is the whole idea behind the Traxler Counter Attack. We allow white to bring their knight to f7, gaining a fork on our queen and rook. But we have a powerful counter-attacking blow with bishop takes f2 plus check. In the Traxler Counter Attack, we'll look at two main variations, one where white captures our bishop on f2, and another where white ignores the bishop and plays king to f1 instead. Let's first examine what happens if white captures our bishop. Then, we play knight e4, check. Now, the white king has 6 possible moves, but 4 of them lead to immediate losses, and only 2 of them don't lose immediately. However, these remaining moves are quite tough for white to play. Let's focus on the first line, where white plays king f3. Here, we don't play queen to h4, as we do in the other 5 variations. Instead, we play queen to f6, check. White is forced to capture our knight, and we further drive the king up to the center of the board. We continue with queen f4 check, and the only move for the king is to go back to d3. If the king goes to d5, we can give checkmate with queen e4. White plays king d3, and we give check again with queen d4. The king has only one move, going back to e2. Now, we capture the bishop, and when white blocks with c3, we capture the knight. This is a key idea in the Traxler Counter Attack, capturing the bishop with check, and then capturing the knight. In this position, we regain 2 of the pieces we sacrificed earlier, open up the position, and it becomes easy for black to play. We have attacking threats with moves like d4 check, pushing our pawn, developing our bishop, and even castling. Since white has moved their king, they are no longer able to castle. Now, let's revisit this variation and examine the second line, where white plays king e1. In this line, we play the important move queen h4 check, which is a key move to remember, as it is played in almost all the variations, except for the first one we discussed earlier. The idea behind this move is that we are threatening checkmate on f2. If we move our knight on the next move, our queen will attack the bishop, which also attacks the knight. In response to the check, white has to play g3 to block the check. Now, we play knight g3, which is another crucial idea in this variation. Once again, our queen hits the bishop, and our knight hits the rook. Additionally, we are threatening to give a discovered check on the next move. White is forced to capture back our knight, and this leaves their rook hanging. We capture on h1, and now it's a straightforward win for black. In the third variation, white plays king to f1. We respond with queen to h4, threatening checkmate with queen f2. If white tries to defend by playing queen e2 or queen f3, we proceed with knight d4, bringing in an additional attacker, and maintaining the threat of checkmate on the next move. If white defends with g3, we continue with the same plan and capture the pawn with check. By capturing the pawn, we gain material. After white captures our knight, we capture the rook with check. White is then forced to play queen e1 to guard the f2 square. Our main idea remains consistent. We want to play knight g3 and check the king. If white captures our knight with the pawn, we simply take the rook. If white captures with the queen, we capture the bishop with check. White pushes their pawn, and we capture the knight. As before, we regain material and maintain a pawn advantage. Let's examine the two moves for white that don't result in an immediate loss. The first move is g1. In response, we play queen h4, emphasizing the importance of this move in the position. Our plan remains consistent. White is forced to play g3 to block the potential checkmate. We capture the pawn on g3. After pawn captures, white's king is safe, protecting the rook, and we cannot capture the bishop because it doesn't give a check to the white king. Instead, we capture the pawn on g3 with a discovered check. The white king is forced to move back to f1. Now, another key move is to play rook f8, getting our rook out of danger from the enemy knight and pinning the knight to the king. Although the computer evaluation may show this position as equal 0.00, it is actually quite challenging for white to play. Black's threats are straightforward. We plan to play d5, attacking the bishop and opening up possibilities for our own bishop to come into play, such as bishop to h3 check or bishop to g4, attacking the queen. Playing pawn to d5 also blocks the diagonal of the white bishop and prepares to capture the knight on f7 in the future. Overall, it is a difficult position for white to hold and defend. Another move for white that doesn't result in an immediate loss is king to e3. This move might appear strange and counterintuitive since the king moves away from the safety of its pieces and towards the center. After this, we play queen to h4, with the same threats of queen f2 or queen f4. White can defend with g3, guarding against both threats. We capture the pawn on g3, and after pawn captures. Now, it's crucial for black to know another key move, queen to d4 plus check. If white plays king to e2, we simply capture the bishop and then capture the knight afterward, similar to previous variations. So, white must move the king to the left, playing f3. At first glance, castling might seem illegal due to the knight potentially giving a double check, or a discovered check with the bishop. However, white is the one in a pin, because our rook on f8 pins the knight to the king. Therefore, white cannot move the knight as long as the king is pinned to our rook. Although the computer evaluates this position as equal 0.00, it is difficult and challenging for white to play. Black's threats remain simple. The queen attacks the bishop, and we plan to play d5, gaining a tempo to attack the bishop further. After pawn to d5, white loses protection on the knight on f7, and we are also threatening to bring our bishop to g4, winning the queen on d1. Now, let's explore the sixth and final variation, which is my personal favorite. It starts with king to e2. In this position, we begin with knight d4 plus check, forcing the king to move forward. We proceed with queen h4, as we did in the previous variations. If white captures our rook on h8 with the knight, we have a false checkmate in 7 moves. Pause the video if you'd like to try and solve this checkmate puzzle. I assure you that you won't regret attempting to solve it because the final position is truly spectacular. But before we continue, if you find these tips helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to continue creating great content to help you improve your game. Now let's dive into the forced mate in 7 moves. The first move is quite easy, and I'm confident that most of you will spot it. Queen to f4 plus check. We force the king to go to d3. Here, we could win the queen by playing knight to f6 plus check, but since we're seeking checkmate, we play knight to c5 plus check instead. White's only move is to go to c3. Now, we sacrifice our other knight with knight to b4 plus check. The purpose of this check is if white captures our knight with the bishop, we play queen to d4, which is checkmate. So, white is left with only one move, king to b4. Next, we advance our pawn with a5 check. White has two options: capturing the knight on c5 or capturing the knight on b4. If white captures the knight on b4, we proceed with pawn to c6 check. If white captures our other knight again, we play queen to d4, resulting in checkmate. Therefore, white has to play king to b6. Lastly, we make the ice-cold finishing move with e4 checkmate. Congratulations if you managed to find this forced checkmate in 7 moves. I'm sure you all enjoyed the final position as well, because we achieve an absolutely stunning checkmate with e4. Isn't this technique simply brilliant and amazing? Giving checkmate with a pawn move is incredibly rare, which is why I believe this checkmate is truly exceptional. I wish we could end the video here after such a spectacular position and checkmate. However, we still have one more variation to cover. In this final variation, we discussed what happens if white ignores our bishop and plays king to f1. Some opponents might do this if they are familiar with the Traxler Counter Attack and want to avoid multiple checks and potential danger to their king. In response, we save our queen by playing e7. White would capture our rook on h8, and now the key move is d5. The idea behind this move is to push the pawn forward, gaining a tempo by attacking the bishop. It also frees our bishop to create threats like g4, aiming to trap the queen. This concept is similar to the other variations where white captured our bishop earlier. The main idea is always to play d5 and free our bishop. If white plays carelessly, such as capturing with the bishop, we play bishop to g4, and the queen is already trapped. White must capture with the pawn, and now we play knight d4, introducing another attacker into the position. White cannot capture our bishop on f2, because we can initiate a check by moving the knight to g4. If the opponent's king attempts to evade and seeks shelter in the corner, a strategic move would be queen to c5, placing pressure on their bishop. Furthermore, if the knight relocates to f3, it results in a double check to the king, leading to a checkmate scenario. If white plays a natural move like c3, trying to kick away our knight, we respond with bishop to g4, attacking the queen. Additionally, pawn to c3 is a decent move for white. This move opens up the possibility for the queen to advance to a4, presenting an opportunity to deliver a check to the opponent's king. Now, another crucial move to remember is knight to d7, sliding our knight back to defend against the check. The reason for playing this seemingly passive move is that it frees up the f-file for our queen to infiltrate and deliver checkmate. White has two options: capturing our bishop or capturing our knight. Let's examine what happens if white captures our bishop first. We play queen h4 plus check, forcing the king to retreat to f1. Then, we have a beautiful move, castling long. The idea behind castling in this situation is to bring the rook into the game, specifically with f8, delivering a check and setting up a future checkmate. There's no way for white to defend against this impending checkmate. Now, let's analyze the final variation, which is e4. Here, we have a quiet assassin move with queen to f8. As mentioned earlier, we slide our knight back to free up the f-file, allowing our queen to attack the enemy king. The purpose of playing queen to f8 instead of queen to f6 is to avoid white capturing on e5 and creating complications. Although queen to f6 is still possible, queen to f8 is a smoother move without much resistance from white. The only attempt white can make is the sneaky move queen to a3, trying to trade off our queens. If we're not careful and fail to notice the queen, we might play a careless move like bishop to d4, or g3 or h4, bringing out the bishop to deliver a discovered check on the king, thinking the game is nearly over. However, that would be an unfortunate blunder because white can simply capture our queen. Instead, we play queen to f4 first, ensuring that our queen remains along the f-file, but is out of the reach of the enemy queen. On the next move, we can slide our bishop to deliver a discovered check, and bring our queen to f2 for the final finishing blow. That concludes today's video on defending against the fright lever attack and the Traxler Counter Attack variation. I hope you gained valuable insights into defending against this powerful opening and how to counterattack effectively. Now, it's time for a puzzle. In the given position, it's white's turn, and you need to find the best move for white. Share your answers in the comments, and let's see how many of you can solve it correctly. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with future videos. Take a moment to check out the other videos appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care and peace.